am on my way right now to a salt cave, and which I've done many times and I love. And I'm also going to try out red light therapy. If you haven't tried either of these, here's a photo of the salt cave and then also of the infrared light. And underneath me was like pulsating water, which you could adjust the intensity of it. So really cool. I'm definitely going to do it again. So I used to be a reluctant empath. Early on, before my process began, I was told over and over again that I was an empath, to which I always replied with an emphatic, "No, I'm not." Not because I had a bad opinion of it, since I really didn't understand what it was, but to my knowledge, I just was not. Wouldn't I know if I were an empath? I admit I didn't really like being labeled as something. But they insisted, "Yes, you are." Looking back, now that I understand, I can see that I indeed was, and I am. I looked up the meaning of empath for this video, and as you might guess, there were many variations. But to keep it simple, and I think most of us agree, that it is someone who is highly attuned to the feelings and emotions of those around them, which if you are an empath, you know is not always a good thing. Well, depending on your perspective. Putting the word empath aside, aren't most people that go through a process of spiritual awakening highly intuitive to energies around them? Whether you consider yourself a light worker, wanderer, starseed, or wayshower, we all seem to have this aspect. Let me know what you think in the comments. As most of you probably know, there are a lot of intense energies upon us. Among the many symptoms we're experiencing is a lethargic, tired feeling and lack of motivation. People in the community have all been warning about being careful out in crowds, and especially if you live in a big city, to protect your energy field. Speaking of reluctance, I've also been reluctant when it comes to rituals, shall we say. I admire people that start every day or every morning with a ritual and always remember to use or ask for protection in certain environments. I've been pretty inconsistent with this. I keep to it for a few days or a week, and then I fall off again. Thankfully, I haven't had many negative experiences for quite a while, until recently. Regarding psychic attacks, I hadn't had any, hardly any, since my dark night. This past week or so, feeling the effects of the energies, the lethargy, being tired, unmotivated, I ventured out to the supermarket. In addition to these symptoms, the weather has been 95 degrees and humid, which adds to the heaviness. As I entered the store before another customer, I instantly felt something, but I dismissed it. Within a couple of minutes, it was so intense to the point where I thought I might have to leave the store. At this point, I'm attributing it to the heat. I managed to do my shopping and head home. That night, I experienced the attack and instantly knew what had happened. Something had jumped on me as I had entered the store. Here's a definition I like of psychic attack. Psychic attack is an attempted invasion of your energetic boundaries by another person or entity. It's an attempt to access your energy without your permission, and it can come from anywhere, person, animal, or spirit. If you've experienced a psychic attack during sleep, you know how disturbing it can be. The sleep paralysis with something trying to get at you and you're struggling against it. As I woke up out of the experience, at first I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm a little scared, but pretty quickly I donned my spiritual hat, knowing that negative, lower emotions are not the way to go. So I used my own little personal ritual for myself and the entity. It was fine after that, but I admit I was still a little spooked the next day. It was quite a reminder to be aware of my vibrational frequency at all times, especially out in the city. I used my sage and singing bowl quite frequently for clearing and upped the ante over the next few days, including inside my car. These attacks can happen to the best of us, as we're not always in the highest vibe or frame of mind. Keep in mind that as this ascension process is heating up, it is becoming more intense. It's all part of the process, and as we deepen and increase in our process, getting closer and closer, things will pop up that we thought we were done with. Not necessarily psychic attacks, but old programs, emotions, or aspects might make a final curtain call. Symptoms of psychic attack vary, but some are feelings of confusion, fear, anger, depression, fatigue, headaches, stomach aches, and other physical symptoms. You could also feel a shift in your mood. I've had instances where I'm feeling fine, but after spending time with someone, like going out to lunch, I feel out of sorts and irritable by the time I get home, but I can't attribute it to anything specific. In my recent case of attack, I literally felt the heavy presence, and it made me feel off balance and dizzy. Some things you can do to avoid or protect yourself from attack are to set boundaries, be aware when someone or something has crossed your boundaries. Visualization, you can visualize a white light surrounding you or visualize yourself as a diamond. You can use a grounding exercise each morning. Use a simple meditation of seeing yourself rooted to the ground, or take a walk in nature. These are just a few suggestions. There are many ways, including crystals, keeping your vibe high and trusting your intuition. So are you, or have you been, a reluctant empath? Did it take some time for you to get used to the idea? Have you experienced psychic attacks? Let me know in the comments. And just a final note, everything can be a catalyst to get us to delve deeper. We need to rise above and not fall into victimhood. Try not to be in fear and be brave and overcome it, whatever the catalyst is. That's part of what we're here to do. It's part of our emergence, becoming more conscious. And from my heart to yours, you have it in you.